how you actually grow as a person, it's always when the cart's in the ditch. It's when things are much harder than easier, and that's when you really grow and learn. So the first time I heard that from Joe Ritchie, I thought I had to like replay the videotape of my life to see if I thought that was true, and I think that is. I grew up in a safe environment with two parents and a roof over my head and food on the table. So I didn't go through some of the things of the people that we help on the foundation side of Bridgeway. But nevertheless, everybody experiences things in their life that are harder and more difficult. And actually, starting Bridgeway by an objective standard would be one of those. I had a business plan that had us breaking even in 12 months, and it took 36 months, 3 years, to get there. That's not unusual for new businesses. I have an MBA from Harvard Business School, but I didn't take a single course in entrepreneurship. That probably was a good thing because I had no idea of what percentage of new companies don't make it. And that was probably good that I didn't know because I was just charging ahead. But clearly in the first year, we were off the path of my business plan. And that is a time where you really think about what's important, why you're doing what you're doing, and is this what you're called to do? Pressure was on. I was thinking, oh gosh, now I've hired a few people and their livelihoods depend on this as well. We were doing a very good job for our shareholders in delivering the service and returns in accordance with design that we had talked with them about. But the harder times are thinking about what choices you make and don't make. And those come up real time, though you can't anticipate all of those. That is where character comes into play. So one of the first things that came up was something that we refer to as soft dollars. And it would have been very convenient, and it would have brought in some additional revenues to Bridgeway had we taken part in soft dollars. Soft dollars is where you basically use client transactions at brokerage firms. You use some of that money to pay for things like data and subscriptions and even software back then. And the rules have tightened up on that. But I did not want to cross that line. I thought people pay us an advisory fee. We should be paying for our own data and materials. We're just going to say no. And we were a leader in that. Many more firms followed us in the 3 decades since. But it was just clear in my mind by way of doing the right thing for our clients that we wouldn't do that, even though it could have been really helpful in the beginning. So hard times.
But did anyone know that you were doing that, John? Did you get any points for that early on, or was it just an internal discussion?
Yes and no. Initially, it was just a decision that we made, but you get a track record of making decisions like that. And we had shareholder letters. We would differentiate that. And so, yes, people did hear about it. People still, didn't know what soft dollars were. By and large, retail investors, some more sophisticated investors did, but I like to think that you leave behind a lot of telltale signs of what your character looks like. So one of the things I thought in setting up Bridgeway 3 decades ago was if just a random person comes in, doesn't know your company, is trying to get to know it, you want them looking under every rock and having the same story told of who you are, what you stand for, and what's important. And that's what character strongly relates to.
I like that. Did you ever have a moment, John? I guess I'm going to pivot a little bit. Is like I always wonder what a person's inspiration for wanting to try to do the right thing is. Like, where does it come from? where did it come from to say, hey, I'm going to give 50% of my profits away? I mean, most people would put you in a mental institute for doing that. You did it voluntarily. Where does that come from, John? Like, how does that grow into somebody? Can you answer that question? It could be you can't.
Well, yeah, let me answer it more generally and then specifically. In the big picture, um, I love service industries, every kind of service industry, hotel, the Uber or taxi you take, an airline. I love studying the experience of service. And I do this along the way. Um, I've learned to distinguish it better and express appreciation along the way.
I want to get to the heart of what motivates you to kind of try to be the best you can be. I mean, it's like it's an unusual thing for a founder of a very successful company to give away 50% of his profits from the beginning and to create and build a culture like you have. But the difference with you is that you started when you had nothing. You started this posture whenever the company was pretty much just scratching to get going. And you said, this is going to be a foundational pillar in the way we do things. And to me, the curious question is like, how does a human being develop out of this world to want to do that? Like, why? Was there some book you read? Was there some individual that, did an angel show up and talk to you on your shoulder? What was it that caused you to behave this way and to build a company like this? It's pretty unique.
Well, Dan, I like to say that people don't do things for just one reason. Human behavior is complicated, and every once in a while, I hear myself giving like a business school answer to a question like that, and then step back and it's like, do I know that that's really why I'm doing that, or is it the home I was raised in and the country that I happen to be plucked down on at birth, or the friends that I meet like you along the way? And I guess the honest answer is it's probably all of those and some things that I haven't even distinguished yet. But I will say two things. One is I love service industries, and I'm always looking for ways to improve things. Or if I personally experience poor service, I think that's the great thing about the capitalist system is it invites competition for somebody to come in and do a better job. So I knew we wanted to start a company that was going to become a great place to work. You spend a lot of hours at work, and if you get the opportunity to affect the culture of the place we work. By the way, you do not have to be owner founder to do that. Anybody from any place in the organization can do that. And that's what culture is.